Once you begin to awaken, then you have a little bit of leverage from which to see your predicament. Now, one of the ways that you can help yourself is by connecting yourself with other consciousnesses that will mirror for you the ways in which you're stuck. That can be books, it can be photographs, it can be the sangha or satsang or the community of other beings who are attempting to awaken. Because once you start to begin to awaken, you start to see people in a different way. When you were stuck totally in your mind, you looked at other people totally in terms of their relevance to your need systems. Once you begin to awaken, you're able to meet other people on two levels. One is within your need system, and one is that little bit of space around it. And the satsang or sangha or community is meeting those people in that little bit of space in the new perspective around the predicament of life. And then what happens is, once you meet such people in books or pictures or whatever, you then ask them in one way or another to help you. Like when you take the words of Christ, or the words of the Buddha, or the words of Ramakrishna, or Ramana Maharshi, or any of the wonderful great beings that have lived through history who have made the mystical journey, their words, just reading their words, is like reminding you and showing you how stuck you are. It's mirroring for you your stuckness. And just sitting with that mirroring and sitting with that space and sitting with those friends who tell you you're stuck, that process is constantly working to dislodge your staying within the stuckness. And it's helping you start to let the stuckness start to lose its solidity and thus crumble a little bit. Of course, the problem is that the way in which you're stuck so fulfills your need for security, because even though you're stuck, it's home. I mean, even your neuroses are familiar. You know, I'd rather have a familiar neurosis than be out there, you know, like flying, you know. So seeing your addictions of mind to this is who I am and this is how the world is not just, it doesn't just drop away because you see it, because there's still a lot of juice to holding it. There is a readiness for letting go of things. And the word that is used often is viragya, or the falling away of worldly stuff. There is a place where it isn't worth holding on to any longer. And you're then open. It often is required, there's despair involved in that. There's despair of finding yourself so trapped. And sometimes the despair is great enough that it opens a door for you. It is true that what most people do is that they substitute immediately a new structure to feel safe in for the old structure they got rid of. And the only thing you can hope is that the new structure will be taken on from a place. See, most of the structures that you have about yourself and the world were developed in your preconceptual time, between the time you were, say, 6 months and 15 months old. That's when the basis was laid down for the whole game of your ego. And so they are emotionally learned structures. They are not conceptual initially the rational mind didn't mediate it. When you learn something rationally, you can unlearn it more easily than when something is learned emotionally, because when it's learned emotionally, you can't get at it. So that therapy has a very hard time getting to those extremely early learnings that happen, which were laid down so powerfully. So what you're doing when you take on a new structure is you're taking it on conceptually, intentionally, and so it is easier to let go of later. And then you use that new structure and keep moving yourself into the new structure. And then, like, when you have felt I am no good, you then can feel I am good. And you can use I am good to dislodge I am not good, but then I am good has to fall away, because that's just another place to stand if you want to be free. Because free is neither good nor not good. Free is just free.